welcome to another episode of Range Rover Owner. Today, we're in my garage, I'm in my scruffs, and we're going to get our hands dirty. But before we do that, if you find this video useful or any of our videos useful, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to click the bell icon to get notifications of our latest content. Now, today we're going to be working on one of my other Range Rovers. This is a 2011 Range Rover Ultimate Edition. So this is one of 7 supercharged Ultimate Editions in the UK, very rare car, and I want to do everything I can to preserve and protect it. One of the things that the L322 really suffers with is corrosion and paint bubbling on the rear wheel arch area. Bubbling can usually be seen at the rear here, at the top, or towards the sill area. Now, if you're seeing any rust or corrosion towards the sill area, there is a good chance that you've got rust or corrosion behind the plastic cover that runs from the rear of the vehicle all the way to the front along the bottom. You're going to have to take that off to inspect it, and that's what we're going to do today. We're also going to remove the road wheels, and we're going to remove the plastic liners. Once we've done that, we're going to clean it up, wax oil to prevent any further corrosion, and then we're going to be fitting these. Now, these are the arch protectors from the Freelander 2. Land Rover, for some reason, only ever fitted edge protectors from the rear to the top of the arch. They left the front section of the arch exposed to the elements, and the build-up of road, muck and grime gets in behind the metal and basically rusts the car from the inside out. The edge protectors help prevent ingress of that muck, and I've had these fitted to my other Range Rover for over 10 years, and there's no corrosion or rust at all on the arches. So let's get the wheel off and then we'll take it from there. So I've just removed the wheel, the road wheel has been removed. I've also removed the side step, because on these cars, if you've got the deployable side step, you can't access the jacking points without taking them off. Without even removing the liner, I can already start to see that there is just the start of a bit of surface corrosion. And this is mainly due to the fact that it isn't protected. So if you look here, this side of the arch has got this rubber protector which prevents stone chips and things like that from damaging the metal, whereas Land Rover, as I said earlier on, never decided to fit the arch protector to this side of the arch. So as you can see here, this is just from years of driving up and down the roads, stones hitting it and chipping the paint off, and then muck and dirt gets behind this metal lip here, and then it basically rusts from the inside out. That's why it's very important that you clean these arches all the way round every week if you can, to get all the muck and grime out of behind the metal. Now I'm going to remove the wheel arch liner. So this plastic cover, it's held in place with just a few bolts, nothing major. And then I'm also going to remove this plastic sill protector. So this runs the full length of the car and is held in place with a couple of plastic press studs and clips. So once I've got those removed, then we'll have a look at the condition of the actual inner metal wheel arch behind. I've just finished removing the plastic sill protector that runs along the whole length of the car. It's held in with half a dozen plastic pushing retaining clips at the bottom, and then half a dozen or so pushing clips at the top. I'm very pleased with what's behind it because there's very little corrosion, just a bit of dirt, nothing major at all. I've seen these, so there's this build-up of dirt. I've seen these actually completely rotten through, so that there's huge holes here, and the jacking point here has completely disintegrated. So considering this car is now 9 years old, that is really positive. I'm really pleased with that, especially considering where it spent most of its life. Under here, this is nothing abnormal. This can be all cleaned up and now protected. And then actually behind the liner, you can start to see the condition of the actual arch, which is really good for its age. You know, there's a little bit of surface corrosion here and there, nothing major at all. This can all be cleaned up, treated, then painted. And even at the very rear of the arch, there's obviously, you can see, this is what I mean about the build-up of dirt and why this is important to clean. So get rid of all the muck and grime and dirt behind the arches, and then it prevents it rusting out. This is where it usually rusts through, when you see it here. So in this lower section here, it rusts through here and then through the other panel, because this protecting edge here doesn't go all the way down. So it's really important just to clean it all out, get all the muck out and get all the grime out, and you'll be fine. Moving up to the top of the arch now, you can see inside here. So we've now got one of the distribution blocks for the air suspension in here, but there's no rust at all higher up the arch, which is fantastic on this side. So overall, I'm really pleased. So the next step here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all the muck out. So get it all out. Not going to wet anything because I don't want moisture to be retained behind the protector. That's what's happened here. So muck has got in, it gets wet, so like this, when it gets wet, and then it basically causes this type of corrosion because it's the muck and the dirt is just sitting on one spot, constantly drying out, getting wet, drying out. I'm going to just clean it all up, get all this muck off that's built up, re-protect it, and then take it from there. So yeah, when I come back, I will have cleaned all this up and then we're ready to wax oil the area. Okay, so I finished cleaning and prepping under here. I've got off all the surface bubbling, if you like. It's nothing major, to be fair. It's solid metal here. There's no real rust at all the way around. I've done the arches as well, cleaned and wire brushed everything down. Took the original arch protector off here because I wanted to clean it all, and I'm going to put this back on once the arch is back in. Cleaned all down here, and now what I'm going to do is, because there's no real rust at all, this is all superficial at the minute, I'm going to seal it, if you like, just with some standard Hammerite, direct to rust paint, because once we've sealed it, to keep the air away from it, all this is going to be wax oiled anyway to prevent anything getting in. So I finished coating this with the Hammerite rust paint. Anywhere that was showing signs of any sort of surface corrosion, which there wasn't very much, to be fair, I've just coated everywhere as a precaution, even on the inside of the arch, so all the way around on the inside of the arch, also on the edge of the arch here. It doesn't matter that it's a different colour, because once the protection strip is on, you won't see it, and anything that provides a barrier between the metal and the outside world is what you need to keep the rust and the outside world at bay. Again, lower sill area all coated, and anywhere there was an exposed edge all the way around. So the next step now is to put a layer of wax oil, and once that's done, I'll show you what that looks like. I finished coating the inner arch with the wax oil, so all the way right to the top. Made sure to give it extra coats along the arch here, so along the edge of the arch here, and over the top. So it's all been protected along the inside as well, so all under here, all treated. Just needs to dry now, and then it's just a case of reassembling. While I was at it, I also gave the sill a wax oil all the way along to the front of the car. Again, making sure to get both sides of the lip of metal. Anything exposed to the elements needs to be protected. The next step from here now is, once this is dry, is to reassemble the inner plastic arch, to put it back in and bolt it back in place, screw it back in place. Put the plastic sill protector back on, and then it's a case of fitting the new edge protectors. So the edge protectors that run all the way around, putting the original one back on here, and then fitting the new one along this edge. So I'm going to reassemble this now, and then I'll show you how we fit the edge protectors. Okay, so I've refitted the inner arch and the sill protector. I've also refitted the road wheel because I left it overnight for the wax oil to dry and for it to set properly. So the next step for us is to fit the arch protectors. Now this is the original arch protector from this side of the arch, there, okay? And then this is going to be the new strip that we're going to cut and fit to here. So these are longer than what we need, so it's just a case of cutting it with a small hacksaw. And then once we've cut it to size, all we're going to do is I'm going to take a tin of just standard petroleum jelly, so just like Vaseline, that type of thing. I'm going to inlay the edge protector with a coating of the Vaseline. This helps prevent moisture from getting in and keeps the road grime and weather out away from the metal edge. Then it's just a case of just slipping the edge protector on, making sure that it runs all the way from the edge of the metal here all the way to the far end of the edge metal at the sill. So the trim has now been cut to size, and now it's simply a case of just putting a little bit of Vaseline all the way across the edge. Same on the original factory one. So I just use a scraper and just push it in. Dead simple. Work it along the edge, making sure that there's an even spread all the way down, and then making sure that there's not an excess amount on the edges. As I say, this will just help prevent moisture and the weather getting at the edge of the metal. That's one done. So this one was just cut to size using a small hacksaw. The Vaseline will get pushed in once you push it onto the metal edge, so it'll work its way in. Don't forget, if you found this video useful, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's lots of videos on there about maintenance of the L322 and lots of other videos about other generations of Range Rovers. And if you fancy joining us, you can find us on Facebook. So we have a vehicle group for every model of Range Rover, and there's tens of thousands of genuine owners and enthusiasts in those groups. And then you can also find us on rangeroverowner.com, which is our club website. Okay, so I fitted the original Land Rover seal back onto the car. All we do is we push the seal edge protector back in place, and it'll squeeze out any excess Vaseline along the edge, and then it's just a case of taking a cloth and giving it a wipe over to remove any excess. So I did this one earlier on, just to show you what the finish result is. So it's a completely factory finish again. And now we're going to do the other side. This is the new seal, so to pop it on, it's just push fit. And then it's just a case of just squeezing the edges to get any excess Vaseline out. And then giving it a wipe with a cloth. And there we have a completely finished wheel arch protector. This project complete. We've wax oiled the inner arch, we've wax oiled the lower sill area, and we've fitted edge protectors to prevent any weather or road grime from getting at the edge of the metal. I just want to thank you for watching this video, and if you've enjoyed it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications of our latest content. Also, if you want to find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or our website, rangeroverowner.com. On Facebook, we've got thousands and thousands of members in our individual vehicle groups for every model of Range Rover. So if it is something you're interested in, please give us a search. Thank you very much.